We should be live. We're back. We're working on Lorehold the Historian. Here she is in case you need a reminder of how she works. And we are at 99 cards, 99 spells for Lorehold. I do have to double check the count. I might have forgotten to count Lorehold herself while doing the count originally. So we might technically be at 100. I'll figure that out later, though. Or if we somehow manage to cut a third of the remaining cards today that I might need to know because we're just about done. So let's take a quick stroll through the list again. There aren't a whole lot of sublists we can even do with Lorehold, and I've already done the two major ones and cut a bunch of cards off of both of them, so let's just look at her spell list real quick. See if there's anything that stands out as no longer being necessary. Maybe we can cut Catastrophe. I did already cut a few other things that destroy all lands, though, so it's possible I still want Catastrophe as an option. Wildfire, Worn Power Stone. We can technically cut Squee, but Squee being a guaranteed free card to discard once per turn cycle, assuming he doesn't get randomly exiled, is helpful. Could be the Mirari. Don't super need it. I've gotten rid of basically all of the copy effects except for Volcanic Vision, or not Volcanic Vision, Double Vision. Double Vision. I think Volcanic Visions is also on our list. I think it's the thing that pulls back a dead instant or sorcery and then deals damage. But we only got Double Vision and Arcane Bombardment left. If I get rid of the Mirari. I can probably get rid of it, though. I got rid of all the other copy effects. Most of our spells are just not worth copying is the problem. Except to avoid counter spells. Like, they are all... If they resolve, they are exactly what I need them to do, and the second copy is going to be redundant. In 99% of cases. We do have a few spells where it's not, where getting another copy of it would actually be helpful, but there are so few of them on the list that I don't think we need to make room for the Mirari at that point. It's also possible we don't need roiling terrain, although, given how our deck works, I have to imagine that a mid to late game roiling terrain just takes a player out of the game, like finishes them off entirely with like 10 to 15 damage. I'm inclined to keep it, but we're gonna run out of room, so if I have to make cuts, yep, there's Volcanic Vision. Could be Avacyn's Judgment. Which of the Second Sun is probably still fine. Mortal Sun, Firemind Vessel, Leod's Intervention, Leyline Tyrant, Intervention, keep the Lorehold command, Seize the Storm. It's possible Seize the Storm can go. It is all right in the deck. It makes a big token normally, and then it makes another big token later, or I can discard it for something else and make the big token later. But it is Commander. Graveyard hate is a thing, so there's a very real chance that Seize the Storm won't be making anything bigger than like a 3/3 if I'm lucky, and it might be a 1/1 because the Seize the Storm itself is in exile. I do like that the fail case is that we usually get at least a 1/1, maybe two 1/1s out of it. It is hard to get two 1/1s out of it though, because if you cast it for the flashback, it leaves the graveyard but hasn't gone to exile yet, so I would need at least one other card in the graveyard at the time that I cast it to keep the first token alive. Yeah, I can see cutting as being too low impact in a lot of games. And I'm not cutting the monument for basically anything at this point. Planetarium could go. It does let me scry 2, though, I think. It's either scry 2 or surveil 2, and then we get to cast the top card of our deck for free. I don't think we have any other scry or surveil left in the deck, so it's not going to get other free triggers, but it does let me um, potentially get a free spell there and set up for other free spells or cheap spells for the miracle cost on other turns. How many things do I have with one target for Spinrock Tyrant? I just realized it's not going to give Wither to any of my land destruction spells or mass burn spells because they hit everything, so it's not like Draconic Intervention is going to get Wither and leave my dragons alive and at full power and kill all of my opponent's stuff or cripple the things it can't kill, like, Eldrazi Titans. Lightsteel Colossi, those sort of things. So it's mostly just giving Wither to Lightning Bolt and the Madness one, Fiery Temper. It does let me copy Swords to Plowshares, Path to Exile, Stroke of Midnight. Um, if I wanted to save mana and I only need to kill two targets, it could copy something like Heliod's Intervention. Ravages of War, Faith's Reward, Staff of Nin, Tragic Arrogance, Double Vision, Maze Mind Tome. It's possible I don't need, like, the cheaper card draw spells like Maze Mind Tome and Fornox. I forget if I cut Fornox already or not. I do like having access to more cards, but it's still only one card per turn cycle anyway. And while it is cheap to start with, it still requires a mana investment each time. Whereas the 6-drop ones that I have on the list just give me a free card each turn. So, yeah, okay, I can see cutting Maze Mind Tome and probably 4 Nox if it's still on the list. Right up the Dragon Caller. Rainstone. I can probably cut Wintermoon. Like, I don't need to hate on the non-basic lands that hard, and I'm gonna have a bunch of basic lands anyway. Like, I can just blow them up with Ruination. I don't need the Wintermoon. Ashes, Arcane Signet, Volcanic Offering. Mastery, I might still cut. Cosmic Intervention, Clever Concealment, Excise the Imperfect. Do I cut Trouble in Pairs? The opponents have more control over whether or not they give me the card, but it cuts off a lot of different things to stop them from giving me a card. Double spells, attacking me with multiple creatures. It's a third mode. I know it stops time walks, but I feel like there's like one other thing they can do. I think it play 2 lands in a turn, maybe. Ah, there it is. Two more creatures, second card. Oh, just cast their second spell. Draws their second card, casts their second spell. Yeah, it's probably worth keeping then. Like, that's too many things, even if they do get some amount of say in it. Yeah, I think I get rid of 4 Nox. I can probably get rid of Gallifrey Falls while I'm at it. I think I necessarily need it. Get rid of it off the other list. So. A copy from Ashes. I had 6 cards on the list before. Bring this down to 93. I clear that out. Alright, so Flawless Maneuver is just creatures, right? Like, I probably still want it because it's free. But yeah, I don't have a ton of creatures, so it's literally protecting Lorehold. Oops. But it's free to protect Lorehold, so. Like, in a lot of cases, it's just literally protecting Lorehold, but it's probably good enough. Armageddon, Ruination, Apocalypse Works, Catastrophe, Boom Bust, and Ravages of War are like my. Oh, and From Ashes, technically. Austere Command. I'm not thrilled about using Austere Command for artifact destruction, but I have Vandal Blast, I have Heliod's Intervention, so if I really need to destroy all artifact sources, it doesn't matter that I'm losing my own if it's that desperate. I got rid of Gallifrey Falls. I feel like I have room to get rid of like one, maybe two more mass destruction effects. Trying to figure out like which ones. Like it could be from ashes, and certain decks won't get ruined by them. Like Ruination, I keep because I don't need to run a ton of non-basic lands right now. But I think we could get rid of from ashes. Still be fine. Because there'll be decks like mine where it's like, okay, I blow up all the non-basic lands. It's like, well, I lost 2 lands and I get to go get 2 replacement lands. So yeah, that didn't negatively impact me at all. Maybe it's Excise the Imperfect. Like, I do still have a lot of other target removal and tons of mass removal, so I might not need another exile a creature. Well, exile a non-land permanent effect that gives my opponent a replacement creature. It is tempting to keep it though because it can hit artifacts and therefore I can kill the problematic artifact without having to potentially blow up the entire board's worth of artifacts. Hmm. But I do have the other cards for that can also potentially just get rid of the card. Alright. Hmm. It's so much mana to Brainstone and it's a one-shot effect, but at the same time, with the way my deck works, being able to know what the top 3 cards of my deck are is probably huge. Especially when I can put cards that I've drawn that I really wish were on top of my deck back. I know, it's only 2 cards back, right? Draw 3, put back 2, so I know the next 2 draw steps I'm having. Yeah, still probably too good in this deck. Library of Lang is honestly the best one, since I get to discard the card, put it on top, and then, Miracle when I draw for the turn. On each opponent's turn. That's probably the absolute strongest. Can I cut Brainstone because I have top, Scroll Rack, and Library? Yeah. Yeah, I can. Not the best, but I absolutely can. Staff of Nin, Faith's Reward. Do I have to cut Apocalypse because I can't recover from Apocalypse fast enough? Like, most of my stuff that saves everything that's dying this turn saves it by returning it from the graveyard or putting it into exile instead of into the graveyard and then returning it from exile. Things like that. Like, none of it gets around. It doesn't get around Farewell, but I can sculpt that one, and it doesn't get around Apocalypse, and I lose my hand on top of that. Do I just need to cut Apocalypse? Because it's too hard for me to have stuff left over to win the game with. I think maybe. I think that'll be the other one I cut from down there. So, Apocalypse, but not the set. One, two, three, four. Let's go down to 89. We're getting there. We are, in fact, getting there. Ravages of War, Restoration Seminar. It's too good. Capstone, also too good. Like, getting another free spell every turn, in addition to getting a rebate on, like, down to 2 mana, not rebate, discount, for the first card I draw each turn. Yeah, it's probably too good. Also, Improvisation Capstone can hit, like, all of my other spells, too, so if I randomly hit, like, one of my enchantments, or an artifact source, or a dragon, I get to cast those. Sometimes 2 spells, if I hit a cheap one first. I'm starting to slouch. Let me fix my posture. It's probably Lorehold command. It's worse at its job than a bunch of the other things that save my stuff. Like, it's more expensive, more narrow in what it can save, and having a Lightning Helix or a free 3/2 creature that will also gain Indestructible, where the draw 2 attached to it just isn't enough, I don't think. It was close, but also funny that the dragon, the Spin Rock or Spine Rock, would have copied it and given it Wither. If I give all my creatures +1/+0 and like Lightning Bolt an opponent, then I get to copy it and choose a new target. I can technically target a creature too, but that's more dangerous. Plus, in this scenario, I'm probably killing their stuff anyway. So, unless I need to wither damage an indestructible creature, probably just want to Lightning Bolt 2 opponents, gain 6 life. Could be Judgment. While my spells are cheap, for each opponent that I have, I need 2 mana on their turn, or I'm not going to be able to miracle a spell. So it's possible. Like, I would want to save Avacyn's Judgment for the player right before my turn as the card that I discard most of the time, just so that way I can spend the mana, kill the thing that's a problem, or damage an opponent, and then untap and not have to worry that I won't be able to cast something or have to deal less damage just in case. That might still merit not running Avacyn's Judgment. It would be a single target spell if I don't divvy up the damage, though, that the dragon could copy and give Wither to. It gets to stay for right now. Ooh, excuse me. But I will continue to consider cutting it. Rolling terrain might have to go just because I don't have enough room. Fiery Temper could go. Like, it's possible I don't need the Madness spells, but it's nice to have them as an option. So I'm going to be discarding stuff constantly anyway. That's true. Like, so it doesn't matter much for Fiery Temper. It's kind of low impact. But what I can do is discard it, cast it for its madness cost, and then I can do that, right? Cast it for the madness cost and then put it on top. Because it's still considered a card that I discarded. Or does it go to the graveyard because I cast it from exile? Like, I would actually have to let it let the madness lapse and let it resolve to the graveyard to get it back on top with library. How does Library of Leng work with madness cards? Oh, wait, hang on. This does. Is Lorehold's not a cost, right? It's a triggered ability that allows me to discard a card. Discard triggers anything else that triggers on discards. You can look at a randomly discarded card before deciding where it goes. Ability applies anytime a spell or ability has you discarded part. Like, I think I read that before, and I was like, no, because it's not a cost. It's not discard a card, draw a card, activate this ability only on your opponent's upkeep. It's at the beginning of your upkeep, or beginning of an opponent's upkeep, you may discard a card. So the effect is discarding the card, and then it gives you a benefit if you discarded a card this way. I think I saw that the last time too and was like, wait, does that not work? And then tried to parse it and came to the same conclusion. Nothing there. Alright, let's ask the internet. Oh, they just have one for Lorehold. Okay, let's double check, make sure. You can't use the Library of Lang ability to place a card discarded. Hang on. Alright, so the blurb is from Card Kingdom. Is where they're getting the information for the AI thing. Alright. But how does it work with madness? I am worried that I have to put in way too many letters. It's one of those replacement effects things. Okay, so I was wondering if we could discard. So, like I said, Fiery Temper, not as impressive if we could pull it off, but Avacyn's Judgment is. Like, if we discard Avacyn's Judgment and get to Madness it and put it on top again, and then redraw it, and then discard it on a future turn and Madness it again, can we just keep fireballing once per turn cycle? And the answer apparently is no. So yeah, if I wanted to cut Fiery Temper and or Avacyn's, that does cut out burn spells that have a single target. Like, I think I'm down to just Lightning Bolt at this point. That's the only one still left in the deck. Which doesn't super matter, except that the dragon is kind of underwhelming as just a flying wither creature at that point. Like, I might as well just have any other large dragon. I guess it still copies swords and path and whatnot when I cast them. Stroke of Midnight and that sort of thing. I suppose the dragon is still fine. Yeah, I think we can get rid of Fiery Temper and the other one. It's neat to have them as options, but they're not exactly at their best here. Alright, so cut both of those, pop back up towards Torment. Alright, so get rid of these three, brings us down to 86. Clear all. Alright, so what do I have that the dragon, the Spine Rock Dragon, works with? Lightning Bolt, Swords. It doesn't matter if it deals damage, it matters if it's a single target effect so he can copy it. Squee, Insurrection. Boom chooses any number of targets, so that doesn't help. Technically, it would work with a card like Lapse of Certainty in order to copy it and so that way I've got 2 counter spells pointed at the thing. I don't know that we need it. Works with Roiling Terrain. Would let me blow up another land and deal another pile of damage. Technically works with Vandal Blast on a single target if I don't have the mana, or if the opponents don't have a bunch of artifacts left between all of them. Can work with Boros Charm depending on what mode I choose. If I want to deal the 4 damage, for example. Or give double strike. Again, Heliod's Intervention if I want to get a discount and I don't have a ton of targets. Alright, because of the way I word things, real quick. Because most of the time I don't need to know this, but... Okay, it's an additional cost, not an effect of the spell, and then a reflexive trigger to deal the damage. These... Reprieve, same thing as the other one. Alright, Stroke of Midnight it works with. Abuelo's Awakening it would work with. So I'm returning a target card from my graveyard. That's 5. 6. I believe it works with Seminar. Not that it matters that it copies it, since I'll have one with the name exiled, but still. Soulfire Eruption. Oh, excuse me. Noted that one. Volcanic Offering has too many targets. Mizzix Mastery would work the way I'm most likely casting it. Deflecting Squad is kind of like the other ones, the counter spells. Like, it's only targeting the one spell to change its targets, but it would actually let me copy it. No. No. Does it work with Rise of the Eldrazi? Does Rise only have the one target? Can't be countered. Destroy target permanent. Target player draws 4 cards. Okay. So no, it does not actually work with Rise of the Eldrazi. That would have been cool. There are 8 spells it works with, where it actually does something meaningful. and a few others where it can work with them. Alright. It's also a 4 mana 6/6 flyer. It is possible I don't need Profound Journey. I already have Improvisation, or not Improvisation, Capstone, the Restoration Seminar. So Profound Journey might be excessive at that point. And I still have Profound Journey? I thought I did. But it would have been up here. Why did I think I saw that on the list? Endoblast, Torpor Orb, Everflowing. Ravnica, Theros, Khans of Tarkir. Why did I think I still had still have Profound Journey on the list? Hang on. Okay. I'll be alright. Maybe. Possibly. Sure, it's nothing to worry about. Vision, Approach of the Second Sun, Mortal Sun, Firemine Vessel, Heliod's Intervention, Leyline Tyrant, Pain Bombardment. Feel like I'm starting to slow down. Like I had some pretty decent momentum. We did make it through a bunch of cards. I am slowing down a bit, and we're getting close to the time I would normally stop. I know I've been quitting like about 5 to 10 minutes early each time for this build, but I've also been making good progress during the time that I've been doing it, so maybe that's just better. Like shorter bursts of um, more effective card culling, getting it closer and closer to the correct number. Like we got rid of 13 cards, and getting rid of at least 10 cards um per session, especially when I get down this low, because sometimes it's really hard to find 10 cuts. And it does help to like stop and come back and look at it with fresh eyes again. So maybe we just call it here. Yeah, I think that sounds good. We'll call it here. I'll go get lunch, and then we'll probably do a draft or two before I have to get my brother to work. So if you're interested in Secrets of Strixhaven drafts, feel free to join me for that. And if not, I will see you next time. Thank you for watching, and have a good rest of your day.